How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned?
I don't know!
Auctions. I got burned. And of course, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit like and subscribe down below. So I won a couple of auctions as of late, and one of them was a local auction and the other one was not. I'm going to show you guys the books, but I got burned on one of them, and I had to do a little bit of research about this because I was really sure that these books were of better quality, or I was expecting better quality than what I got. So long story short, here are some photos of the auctions and the books I'm about to show you as well. And you're going to see that the photos themselves, you know, they're decent photos, whatever. They're just of these books that I just recently won. And I had noticed that when I picked up the books, they did not look as nice as what they did on the website. And I have used this auction house before, and I decided to do a little bit further research because I felt that once I had those books in my hands, I was going, hey, why is this so strange? And I did some research on previous auctions that I've bid on, and it turns out that the image qualities have dropped. And it seems like this was almost an intentional thing to do because these books, they have been edited, or the photos have been edited, and the quality and the drop of quality is quite noticeable. And so you'll notice here is a photo from the auction of a book I'm about to show you. And here is a photo of an auction from a bid that I did a while ago. And you're going to notice just on the top side there, the top corner, that the quality of the image has changed dramatically, as has the resolution of the image. And the auction house usually would mention or show in the photos, as in this photo here, that there is some damage with any books. Coincidentally, these books that I won did not mention anything like that, and so I got burned a little bit. When I got the books home and did the fair market value analysis, I was ahead about $50, but I was a lot further down than I was actually expecting for these books. So without further ado, let's just go through them. You're gonna also, if you've seen my other videos, you may go, Derek, you own 2 out of these 4 books already. And yes, I do. So Toronto Fan Expo is coming up at the end of the month. This right now, so this video is probably going to appear near the end of August. I am going to Fan Expo, if not before or after this video is released. I'm planning on trading 2 of these books, ideally, for something at the convention to help alleviate pricing or something. So we'll see how it all goes. So the first book here is X-Men number 95. So yes, I already own a copy of this. Mine is signed by Chris Claremont. It has it over top of the X-Men logo there. I found that when I picked up this book, grade-wise, it's probably the same, if not a little less than the one I have. So my signed one is a 6.0. This one here is probably a 5.5 to a 6. There's a little bit of wrinkling at the bottom here. It still displays beautifully, and if anything, it's a slightly brighter cover than my issue that I currently own, but the quality of what I own versus what I thought the quality was through the image, completely different, and noting damage on the book would have been ideal like they have done in the past. The next book is another one that I own and also signed by Chris Claremont. It is X-Men number 109. This is the first appearance of Guardian or Vindicator, depending on which area you're from. And this is lower quality copy than what I have. There is a little bit of a color break there in the bottom corner, and to have that appear in the image, I can kind of understand that, but there are a couple folded pages in the inside of the book too, so that does ding the grade quite a bit. And then on the back of the book, there is a tear out of the back of it, and usually this auction house doesn't show the images from behind, so I did take a little bit of a leap of faith with this, and I knew that, but again, the images have noticeably declined in quality, and I'm a little disappointed with this. But this is a book I'm going to also trade along with 95 there to try and get myself something better This next book here is one of the 2 books from that auction that I did not have already. This is X-Men number 93. And this is just a reprint of one of the earlier issues. I'm going to just put down below what it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is just a nice book to have. I now have 93 and 95. Still need X-Men 94. Maybe I'll trade the 95 and 109 for a 94. Who knows what's going to happen. So anyway, got that off the list. And finally, the one book I really wanted to get was X-Men number 51. And this one here is notable because it is interesting in X-Men continuity. This is the first appearance of Eric the Red. Eric the Red is the Shi'ar commando who is in that satellite up in space that he was on Earth for forever. He's trying to help out the Shi'ar, take over Earth. And anyway, this is the first appearance of Eric the Red, but this is not the same Eric the Red. This is Cyclops as Eric the Red. And costume's the same, powers are not, obviously, but this is the OG Eric the Red, and he was Eric the Red in this and the next issue, and then that's it. I've always wanted and have wondered by either Claremont or Roy Thomas, who wrote this issue, what's the story behind Eric the Red, and why did the name get used again? Why did the costume get used again, but for a completely different character? Why isn't it ever addressed? I really have no idea. That's always an interesting book to have. In this book here, I think it's like around a 5.5 to a 6. This is the only book that I paid on par for. The other 2 books, I said I was ahead about $50 for this auction. So I really overpaid for X-Men 93, and I would say I underpaid for the rest of the books, except for this one here. This one here is pretty much spot on for if I took the price I paid, divided it by 4. So pretty happy with that book. But if we're going to talk about auctions done right, I every so often will bid on mycomicshop.com, and they do high-res images of their scans, and they explain anything that's wrong with the book. So I am very confident buying books off of my comic shop, and they are usually pretty spot on, if a little bit on they undervalue the books a little bit, in my opinion. So I got 2 books recently from auction from them. One of them is an X-Men book that I needed, and the other one is a pre-code horror, and it's a Johnny Craig pre-code horror. So this first book here is just absolutely stunning. It is Vault of Horror number 32, Johnny Craig cover there. And this cover, like this book here, probably grades at a 2.5, I would say. And the reason why, even though it looks completely beautiful, the cover's attached and all, there is a spine split on the cover that's about just above the first staple. So the cover is partially detached, but that's about it. There's a lot of wear on the edging of the book, but this cover is just phenomenal. Again, I talk about Johnny Craig any chance I can. This is just such an awesome cover. The zombie slash dead man walking here is just absolutely stunning to see him just scaring the guy coming in. And the story behind this essentially is 2 criminals. One of them tries to get all loot for themselves, hits the guy in the head with a hatchet. He dies, but he's constantly being tortured or terrored by the guy who is stalking him, his buddy who he killed. By the end of the book, the guy gouges his eyes out with an ice pick, because of course you do, because he doesn't want to see this man anymore. And then at the end of the big reveal at the end, spoiler alert from this book from 1950 something, they unreveal the mask, and you find out that the shining light that's been glaring at the villain's eyes has actually been the doctor's reflector thing on his forehead. The guy's been in an insane asylum the whole time. Then he jumps out a window and kills himself, and that's the end of the book. Boop. So really cool cover. I just love, again, Johnny Craig's work. Great looking Vault of Horror. This is actually my best looking Vault of Horror. I love this book. I love horror. And my last book. The reason why I own this book, and I am prefacing this, is because it is slabbed. Derek, I thought you weren't going to ever buy another Slabbed book. Well, this one showed up for lower... I got this book, because it was at auction, for lower than fair market value. So I bought a Slabbed book below the fair market value price of what it was graded at. So it was kind of a no-brainer. It was my max bid, and nobody else bidded for it, so I got it. It is an X-Men key, and it is right here. And again, I did that video just recently about CGC, so it is kind of ironic that, or hypocritical I should say, that I do own another Slabbed book. Part of me debates... No, I'll get into that. Here's X-Men number 64. It is the first appearance as Sunfire. And this book, you see, as it grades as a 5.0. It does present very well. It very obviously is a 5.0, and that's because there's a lot of stress along the top there. There's a little bit of stress along the spine. There's really no creasing at all on the book, on the front or the back. The back itself, you'll see the wear a little bit better on the back, I feel, just along the top edge there. But the back itself is clean. The cover itself is pretty clean, but what I probably can't show it here, but the book is clearly wavy. It is in desperate need for a press. And maybe a little bit of a clean. There is a little bit of, I'm not sure if that's foxing, just right where the, it's not going to show up on the cover here, or on the video here. It just shows a little bit of redness along the side there, and I don't know if that is foxing or not, but that is like the worst part of the discoloration, so to speak, of the cover. So this book here, like I said, has lots of room to grow. I think I could, if I took it out of the case, pressed and cleaned it, it probably could jump it to a 7. Maybe a 7.5. I would be hard pressed to see it go any higher than that. The thing is that this book isn't that much more valuable going up that high. So I'm in kind of a... Part of me wants to just take it out of the slab because I can put it in the box with the rest of the stuff, and I kind of don't really have any more room for slabs. The other part of me is like, hey, it's a slab 5.0, whatever. What do you guys think I should do? Should I pull this out and try to get it pressed and cleaned and see if I can get a 7? It's not going to be worth it if I do it, but should I just do it anyway, or just take it out of the slab? What do you guys think? Regardless, I got this book off my list, and this is a big book to have. This is from January of 1970. So another early X-Men done. Yeah, I've always been a fan of Sunfire, and I've always loved this cover here. I think it's the Don Heck cover, is it? Nope, Sal Buscema cover. Just the amount of detail on the Capitol building is just awesome for it being just a basic cover, so to speak. Yeah, that's a great book to have. That's my auction story. I don't think I'm ever going to bid on an auction from my local auction house again. That was a big burn, and clearly with the images being altered in such a way and the descriptions not listing anything that was defective, really puts a sour taste on my mouth, so I am just done with them, unfortunately. I will just have to pay the duty and shipping to get stuff from my comic shop, I guess, nowadays. So if you guys had any further questions or comments, have your own stories about auction houses, leave them down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. There's the button here to hit subscribe. Check out the other videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.